What's up, traders? Eric here from MajorLeagueTrading.com. And let's take a look at the markets here from today. So, being Monday, I think the biggest thing in which we have to look at is the crazy move from Friday here. So, I'm just going to go ahead and switch this up to a 5-minute chart. And you can see Friday's move here, just to jump right into things, was absolutely massive. I mean, we're talking total range on the day for the S&P's 67.5 points. That's like 3,300 and some dollars and some change worth of movement on the day alone, just for Friday. So big move in there. And then coming into today, we got this nice little gap down here, rallied back, found the closing print there, filled the gap, whatever, and then just kind of sat there the rest of the day. So yesterday evening, I sat down, I did my analysis. Obviously, we didn't have today's data on the charts yet. And just that big move was something that, for me, I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to go ahead and take tomorrow off. I'll actually just go hunting. I'll throw up a little quick video right here. Saw a couple little babies come through, but nothing really substantial worth, bringing home. So for me, that I thought was going to be the better trade, if you will, as opposed to me sitting here at the desk trying to find something to do today. And there ultimately ended up being a couple of things in some individual equity names. But for the most part, we had this big extended move. So last night when I wrote up kind of the plan here for this week, and put this out. So basically looking and saying, hey, is Friday going to turn into a bit of an exhaustion here? Do we poke up into 15, 660, 75s early next week and then, start a pullback? That's obviously talking about the NASDAQ, not the S&Ps. They're basically saying, hey, if things really get crazy to the upside this week, then Monday's probably going to be pretty quiet. Maybe we'll fake lower on Tuesday and then reverse to the upside, tag that 15,660.75s, right? So we're talking about the NASDAQ here. Basically, same thing applies to the S&Ps. But the biggest piece right now with this, is that, as you notice from the last screenshot, or the S&Ps there, we rallied up and actually traded new highs here on a 5-minute chart, through Friday's highs out of the NASDAQ, out of the Dow, but we didn't do that in the Russell or the NASDAQ. And there was a divergence down here. I do want to kind of point this out to you guys as well. So there was a divergence right down in here. You can see at 10:10 and at 10 o'clock, for some reason, NASDAQ, thank you. You can see that at this moment in time, the Dow was actually holding, these morning lows here that were initially set out of the Dow. So as we were able to get this pullback, and there's an important level in here, 1692.30s for the Russell. But as we were getting this pullback, we ultimately were able to establish that divergence in there, get back up through opening prints, and some people picked up some longs on that I saw. So that's the first thing in which kind of stands out to me is like, hey, a couple of the markets were able to push up. Dow obviously had good strength on the day. S&P is able to rally it back. NASDAQ, for some reason, just not able to do it today, right? It wasn't even, able to go unchanged on the day, and I think that's important to take note of. So with that being said, my first piece of information for this week is kind of in play, right? Is Monday will probably be pretty quiet. Now, I took a calculated risk, if you will, in not being at the desk, which would have been a hard trade anyway. Essentially just saying, hey, if Monday gets crazy and we reverse it meant to be green bar, but we reverse the green bar with a red bar from Friday, then Tuesday could turn into a small rally back before getting smacked on Wednesday. So these two scenarios in which I put out is like, hey, probably not going to need to do anything Monday. Catching a short, if we do get that reversal, is going to be kind of hard. Tuesday would be a little bit of a wait and see. And then we probably trade on Wednesday, right? And then this one is, maybe we'll fake lower on Tuesday and then reverse the upside. So at the moment, that's my current plan here. I'm looking for 15,660.75s to trade. The question becomes is, hey, do we try and spike lower tomorrow? Maybe take out this pivot from today, right? This kind of pullback area. Maybe retest opening print-ish area. That's kind of taking out that area there. And then reverse to the upside, 15,660.75s. Or we might, in fact, just open at 15,660.75s because we have some data coming out pre-market here If we want to take a look at that here from the Forex Factory calendar standpoint, we can come over here and see that, hey, we got CPI 830 across the board there for red impact folders. So that one could be something that's interesting as well, kind of as a plan going into tomorrow. And with that being said, that's going to kind of dictate the direction in which, I want to take a couple of potential longs and or shorts in this current market. So a couple of the names that stood out to me potentially for this week, and this is also with the understanding and thinking that we have OPEX. So it is options expiration coming up on Friday. So typically OPEX is more bullish weeks, and we kind of drift higher into that. Obviously that's would make some sense here as the market's kind of at these levels. If we do start to kind of digest this move, then maybe drift higher into the end of the week, right, as a possibility. So with that being said, I also like to look at some pinning plays in here. So one that I'm currently watching and that I like here, weekly chart, daily chart, hourly chart, all the way down time frames, everything looks good. Nice move today, obviously, as you can see here on a 5-minute, even a 2-minute chart. We're going to see that strength coming in today. And it found some resistance here at a level of 84.26s, which was already on the charts coming into today. And that's the important level in which we have to get through in order to be able to go to the next level, which is going to be 87.58 above. So if we can do that tomorrow with market strength, and hey, as long as the market's not gapping up into 660.75s, looking for that to become our potential resistance area, then I think Roku is a nice play. And it also gives this really weird opportunity where, hey, maybe it wants to run to $100 for OPEX. And that, gives us a really nice opportunity for a potential pinning play in there. And we might be able to pick up some, cheap 90, 95 calls, something like that, as a lotto in addition to a day trade, right? So we'll be able to kind of build both in to the same risk, take off the earlier strike, leave the last ones on, and kind of let that run, right? So that's kind of my thinking at the moment. Obviously, we could come in tomorrow and Roku could be at $70, and then that, becomes invalid. I don't think that's going to be the case. And the next one up here is going to be Tesla. So Tesla, sharp move lower this morning with, the rest of the markets here. And then once it got back up through, opening print here, you can see a nice little retest, and then just rip to the upside. So this one was not, that's not the thing in which I wanted to see out of Tesla here for this week. But it is also kind of getting me to start thinking and going, okay, hey, maybe this has some sort of pin to it because of the downtrend in which it's been in since earnings and all the things, right? You can see this, earnings gap down here on the daily chart, like 228 area, 227s, is, hey, if we get up through that area, right, and I'll give out an actual level here inside the Discord and stuff, then I like this thing up toward 234.95s and then maybe even further from there, right? So it has the idea of maybe a 250 pin, right? And I might be getting a little overzealous on that. But again, going back to the plan, if things really get crazy to the upside, Monday's probably going to be pretty quiet. So far, Monday in the markets, I would argue, was pretty quiet. Tesla up 4.22%. I don't know why it didn't just end up going up 4.20%. I feel like that would have been, much more fun. But nonetheless, it is what it is. So anyways, we've got Roku, we've got Tesla, and then one last one here from the long side. I haven't built a complete short list just yet. I think shorts in this market are kind of tough. But one last long one that I'll leave you guys with here is going to be in coin. So for coin, now it was red today, ultimately just managed to try and go lower and then come back up here. So this one might take another day or two. But essentially I'm looking at, up over 94.43s here, which is this high, or this level right in through here, this upper level. Once we get through that, OPEX, thinking that, hey, maybe there's room up into $100 in here. Now, these are rather expensive contracts for a lotto type position. Coin does get some volatility, obviously tied to Bitcoin and the whole crypto space in general. But if we get up through 94.43s, later on this week, like I said, this one might take another day or two, maybe into Wednesday. Then those premiums will start to come in a little bit, and we might be able to pick up some cheaper options here for that $100 move. So we'll see. Again, these are the current plans as we kind of come into this week, and as we look through what's happened so far from today, and start to get a feel here for the rest of the weeks. But 0 trades here so far for me, and we'll see what this week brings. So hopefully that helps. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, supporting the channel. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and you're still watching here, and leave a comment, any symbols you guys are watching, looking at here for this week, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.